Greetings, I'm Professor K, and in this short video presentation, we're going to take a look at how we go about developing a statement of work. A statement of work is an important project management tool that outlines the project's work requirements. It touches on timelines, project-specific services and activities, the deliverables, and the budgetary information. The statement of work ensures that all key parties involved in the pen test know exactly what's included within the bounds of the pen test itself and what isn't. The statement of work is going to be the last document you and the client agree upon and sign off on before work starts. Again, the statement of work outlines the work you are going to perform. This is typically the first step you would want to complete with your stakeholders before starting a project. Defines the following: what you are to deliver and your responsibilities to the customer. The statement of work contains the following parts: the scope of the work, the schedule of the work, the pricing, the deliverables at the end of all the penetration tests, the location, whether it's going to be local or is it going to be remote. Will you have to go to remote sites? The payment terms. You need to nail them down on when you can expect to be paid for your services. And finally, if everybody agrees that the statement of work is correct and the expectations have been met, you can both sign off on it and begin work. Without exception, the most important part of any pen test is the scoping of the work. This is the sum of all the boundaries of an engagement, a combination of all the items to be tested or to be specifically excluded from that engagement. A clear understanding between both parties. It's necessary to prevent an unaffiliated system from being compromised during the penetration test. This ensures that all the items discussed will be covered. Continuing on with the scope of the work, we have the demographics of the organization, known threats, assets to be protected, architectural design, system information, the components, users and roles, interfaces and entry points, authentication model, authorization model, in scope, out of scope, and languages. We also need some network information. Network information includes the domain IP, network architecture, in scope, out of scope, system information, IP addresses, operating systems, web servers, DNS servers, and other services, file system structure, in scope or out of scope. Ensure the scope covers the project. Now, when we talk about things that are in scope, we're talking about things that are expected to be tested. Out of scope means these items are off limits. Do not test these items. Schedule of the work. We have to have explicit start and end dates. When does the customer want the active portions, the scanning enumeration, exploitation of the penetration test concluded? Does he want this done during business hours, after business hours, on the weekends? Allows everyone involved to more clearly identify the work that has to be done. The deliverables. Now, when we talk about the deliverables, we're talking about what the customer can expect to receive at the end of the engagement. This covers the final reports. Clearly articulates what documents will be delivered. This also covers the executive summary and the technical findings report. Pricing. Should have a fixed price for the requested assessment services. Be sure to cross-reference the quote to ensure that the price in the statement of work is the correct price. The statement of work is a legal document and therefore will supersede any prior documentation. Location. If you have to travel, you need to annotate it inside of the statement of work. And if you don't, then you may end up paying for that out of pocket. Payment terms. You need specific dates and terms for the payments. Normally, net 30. The total amount is due within 30 days of the delivery of the final report. But there are other payment options. You can discuss this with the client up front, and you both can agree on how you will be paid. All right, let's go ahead and do a quiz real quick. Which of the following documents describe specific activities, deliverables, and schedules for a penetration tester? The NDA, the MSA, the SOW, the MOU. Correct answer is C, the statement of work. A client asks a penetration tester to add more addresses to a test currently in progress. Which of the following would define the target list? The rules of engagement, master services agreement, statement of work, end user license agreement. Now there's a conflict here because the addresses to be tested are also going to be in the rules of engagement, but they should be in the statement of work. So a client asks a penetration tester to add more addresses to a test currently in progress. That will be answer C, the statement of work. So you got to read into the question very carefully when they talk about what gets added to what document. A statement of work covers what will be tested. The rules of engagement are going to cover how those items will be tested. And so in this short video demonstration, we got to learn about what makes up a statement of work and why it is so important to have one before starting work. We also learned that a statement of work is the business contract that defines the scope of the services that will be performed for a certain amount of money. And the rules of engagement are meant to list out the specifics of your penetration testing project to ensure that both the client and the engineers working on the project know exactly what is being tested, when it's being tested, and how it's being tested. Also remember that it is important that the client sign off on the statement of work before work begins. I'm Professor K. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.